Hi, Bill here with 30-Minute Woodshop. Thanks for joining. Merry Christmas. So there's still time for you to buy some really cool gifts for that woodworker that you know, whether it be a family member, a friend, or whatever. Lots of cool stuff. I'm going to walk you through some of the tools that I have that you could easily pick up in the time remaining. So I do a couple things. Go down here to 30minutewoodshop.com if you want to take a look at the transcript, let's call it. It's really not quite a transcript, but it'll walk you through pretty much the same thing. Give you all the links. If you can go down to the bottom, hit more, you'll find more links to a lot of these tools. All right, make them easy to find. Now, I will say that maybe your woodworker has some of these, probably not. So let's talk about it, okay? So first, we're going to start off with measuring and marking. That's one of the big things you're always going to do. And like always, a tape measure is the one way to go. Now, like always, guys, this is a 16-foot Milwaukee. I prefer Milwaukee. You can grab a DeWalt or something like that. Whatever one you choose, make sure it's a high quality yo-yo, okay? And the reason is that they're not, if you start stacking these things up, not all of them are accurate. They're crappy. A lot of them are crappy. So pick a good one. And remember, you don't need more than 16 feet, right? 6 inches is the most you really need for a lot of things, okay? You'll be doing the bulk of your work right down in that small area. Now, once you got one of these, right, you need a square, okay? This is a 2-foot sterret. Matter of fact, this is a brushed finished 2-foot sterret. And it's a combination square. You can tell a combination square because it has the right angle and it has the 45. All right, so here's one. And of course, I also have a 12-inch combination square. I use these things all the time, okay? Obviously, first thing you're going to pick up is going to be your tape measure. And then the next thing is a square so you can draw a square line. Like I said, got to have these kind of tools. Now, a couple things that go along if you were to buy a sterret, okay? You can get these from other people too. But this is a center finder that goes with your blade, okay? Sterret has those. And they also have this great protractor, so you can set your angle and get very accurate, scribe a very accurate line. So another great thing. Now, these two are tools that you're not going to use that often, so you may not want to invest in them. The sterret, however, the combination square is something you'll use all the time. Now, there's other kinds of squares. These are a pair of machinist squares that I use. I pick these up all the time, use them. One's a 4-inch, one's a 6-inch. Great pieces of steel, guaranteed to be 90 degrees plus or minus a tenth of a degree. I think a tenth of a degree on those. Actually, less than that for those. This one's a tenth of a degree. So this is I think it's a Crown. Got a blued steel blade, brass face, and rosewood body. Pretty cool to have. It does the same thing as the other squares, but this is just one of those old-fashioned tools that you can use, and it looks really good. Now, those are just regular squares. This is called a double square, okay? A double square, you can see because it's square on both sides. This is a 4-inch eye gauge. I'll put a link at the bottom for this one too, along with everything else, but these are kind of like your yo-yos. You know, you leave them laying around, you can't ever find things that's small. It's not, bright red or bright yellow or whatever, they're difficult to find. If I were you, I'd get 2 or 3 of these things. Actually, I have 3 of these things. And they're still hard to find. So a double square is really useful for marking small parts, and it's marking across the ends. So definitely think about that for your woodworker. Now, another thing you really need, your woodworker really needs a bench rule. Okay, this is a sterret bench rule. This is actually marked on one side in 32nds of an inch. On the other side, it's marked in 64th. And it's also marked in millimeters. So make sure if you're getting a bench rule, though, you get a good one. get one. This is made in America, and my preference is made in America tools if I can find them. This is a really good tool, all right? It's very accurate. So, we've got a couple marking tools, right? Now, we all use pencils and pens to mark things in the shop. Now, if you want something very precise, these are marking knives, okay? This actually is a right-handed marking knife. You can tell because of the way the blade is cut. And this is a right or left hand. The reason is, when you hold it up against your edge, right, it scribes right to the edge, and it gives you a very fine line. And this one, you can see it's a diamond shape. In that diamond shape, you can go left or you can go right. So this one's an eye gauge, by the way. And I use both of these, and based on the sharpness, I probably need to sharpen this one. But marking knives are really good things. I would absolutely recommend those to anybody in any shop. So moving on. A couple more things we got. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see me use a card scraper, okay? This is a Sandvik card scraper. Now, I'd recommend every shop have a card scraper. These things are absolutely phenomenal for getting rid of burn marks or saw blade marks and those kind of things. Absolutely phenomenal. And once you get it sharpened up and it starts peeling off ribbons that are about 1/1000th of an inch thick, like see-through size, absolutely perfect. And it does better than sandpaper in many cases. So think about that. Now, chisels, okay? If you look back here, you can see, well, I might not be able to see it in this one, but I got a whole host of these Marples chisels. All right, I got a full set from 16th inch to 2.5. Now, the great thing about having these particular chisels is Marples, when Marples was making these, the steel is really good. They hold an edge, they take an edge, and they hold an edge really well, which is really what you want in a chisel. Now, Nerix from the Czech Republic, I think it is, they have a really good set that's relatively inexpensive. So I consider a set of Nerix chisels. You can't buy these anymore. Marples was bought by Irwin. Yeah, by Irwin. And they don't make these exact Marple chisels anymore. These are vintage now. But if you find them on eBay, pick up a set. So we got most of that. We're still on the cutting part though. So this is a Vertus dovetail saw. You always need a small saw to cut small parts, okay? And what I use this for is my bench hook. I use this to do a lot of cutoff of smaller parts. Great piece of equipment. It has a poly back. I think it's poly. I know it's not ABS. So it's got looks like a walnut handle. So really nice, really sharp. This comes ready to rock. That's the great thing about Vertus tools. All the Vertus stuff is really good. A little expensive, but it's really good. Now, on top of that, here's a really cool saw, all right? Now, this is a Western style saw, which means it cuts on the push. This is a Japanese style saw, and actually this has Marples on it, all right? So this was made by Marples, and the really cool thing about it is Irwin, when they bought Marples, they're still making these. And the great thing is here, you got a fine blade on one side for cross-cutting, all right, and you got a coarse side for ripping. And it's Japanese style, so it cuts on the pull. And even better yet, it has a replaceable blade. So that's a huge push, huge positive. Come on, there you go. Huge positive. Every shop should actually have one of these. So I also have a couple other saws, Handsaws. Matter of fact, I'll put a link in the bottom. I'm not going to show it, but you also need a bench saw. All right, 20-inch bench saw. I have a Nicholson, which is again not made anymore, but I'll put one to a British saw that's a really good bench saw that I think you should consider. All right, now we got all that stuff. For my chisels, right, you'll notice this is a poly handle. All right, now some chisels you can get with a steel butt. Then you can use like a carpenter's hammer, because that's really what they are. They're made for rough work. This is a more of a paring chisel where you're pushing with it and trying to shave stuff off. And you can, of course, hit it with a hammer, but you don't want to hit it with a steel hammer. That's where these come in. Okay? These are a poly cover on these, and so when you're impacting your chisel, you have plastic on plastic, and you don't have to whack it as hard. Plus, it doesn't do as much damage to the chisel. So chisel life increases dramatically. Now, these are made by Wood is Good Company. I have a couple of them here. Matter of fact, what's interesting about this is the bigger diameter one is actually weighs less than the smaller diameter one, which is kind of interesting. I don't remember when I got these. It's been quite a while, and you can see they've got a lot of use on them. So, but they're great tools to have in any shop. Pick up one, all right, and make sure it's great for knocking boards together too. So we got most of that stuff. Now let's go on drills. All right, so drill bits. Every shop needs a set of good drill bits. These happen to be made by Fish. It's a German company, so this is German steel. I use these all the time, and they stay sharp. Absolutely best ones I've ever had. Now, I've used the DeWalt's and everybody else's that they come. You go to the hardware store, you buy these things, you use them and throw them away. Okay? These things are great. Plus, they're brad point. So brad point means they have a very sharp point in the center. You put that sharp point right wherever you want it to drill, and it'll drill right down along that center line. All right. Unlike most drills, don't have that. So absolutely need a set of really good drills, and I would say the brad points are the way to go. All right. And I would actually say the Fish is the way to go. I'm assuming they're still making these things because I've had them for a while. But great German steel, love that stuff. Okay. Next, well, while I'm going to pull these things off, we'll talk about hearing protection. All right. So these are isotunes. All right, Bluetooth. They're Bluetooth connected to my phone, so I get to hear music. I get to hear take phone calls, all those kind of things. Plus, they have pass-through. So if you're talking to me, I don't have to take them off. And they're good to about 25 or 26 decibels. Definitely cuts down the noise dramatically. And I would say this, folks. If you know a woodworker and they're not using any kind of hearing protection, make sure you get them a set of hearing protection. Okay, you don't want them to be 75 or 80 and can't hear. All right, same goes with a good set of eyewear. I wear glasses, so I'm fairly safe. They're polycarb, so I shouldn't have any problem. They're safety rated, so I'm good. But make sure your folks, whoever you know, is using a good set of hearing protection. All right, I recommend Isotunes. I've used the other ones. They're okay, but Isotunes takes the cake for me. All right, so think about that. Now we'll hit the drills, right? Now these are Forster bits. All right, these are made by Master Grip. So this is a full set that goes from, I think it's 5/16 all the way up to 2.5. So I got a full set and every 1/8 of an inch. Love these things because I can drill flat bottom holes for anything. Now I do use them. You can feel some of these I use more than others, and I'm starting to get a burr on some of these. So this is not the best set to have. I got these because actually my wife got them for me. So we'll let it go there. If I would recommend getting a set of Freud or one of the other top quality bits. These work for now. I'll end up replacing these probably in another year or two, simply because, like I said, I'm starting to feel a burr on the edge, which it shouldn't be burring, to be frank. That's good steel. Because while I use them, I say I use them a lot, I don't use them that much. But that being said, a good set of Forster bits, something your woodworker really needs because they come in super handy. A quick aside, when you're using a bigger bit, all right, you'll see in some of mine where I'm spinning a 90 millimeter bit or a 85 millimeter bit. Those are big bits, and you need a lot of horsepower to do that. All right, you can't. There's these 1/3 horsepower benchtop, 8-inch benchtop drill presses don't work. You won't be able to spin the bit into the wood, especially hardwood. Okay, you're gonna need 3/4 horse to a 1 horse motor. I think Grizzly makes one with a 3/4 horse for about $550. A little expensive, but if you're going to do that kind of work, you need that kind of tool. Okay, so maybe I'll put a link to the Grizzly in there too if you want. So, got all this stuff. All right, anything I'm missing? Oh, there is something I'm missing. Gloves. Okay. Now, I don't advocate wearing gloves when you're using power tools. That's not totally true. But when you use a table saw, radial arm saw, or a compound miter saw. The reason being is when you put the gloves on, all right, you're accustomed to where your fingertips are, your skin is, and this adds, a fair amount to that. So you're never quite certain where your tips of your fingers are. You don't want them that close to the blade where you don't know exactly where your fingertips are. Okay. I don't recommend wearing them, but everything else, I mean, if you're using a crosscut saw or a circle saw or something like that, or you're doing sanding, these things are absolutely perfect to help reduce these particular ones. Matter of fact, these mechanics help reduce the vibration, and that really helps out for, if you're doing a lot of sanding. So think about a good set of gloves, all right? So I think I got everything on the table here, man. How cool. Oh, no, I didn't. The big kids in the room here. All right, so last thing I want to talk about is getting a good set of drill and driver, okay? Now, these are Milwaukee, the M12 platform. Now, the M12 platform is a pretty slick platform. I have both the M12 and the M18. If you're doing a lot of light work or you getting into tight spaces, these are a little bit smaller than the M18. That said, you need more power, you definitely need to go to the M18, okay? And if you're going to run any length of time, the M18 is a little bit better. But for most of us, most of the time, M12 works perfect. Plus, they have a lot of other tools that you can get for the M12 platform. And these things, I think, a pair of them with a battery and maybe a battery or two and a charger, I think they're running about $199 on sale. So check the sales. I'll put a link at the bottom, which may or may not be on sale, depends on the time of year. But take a look at that. So I think I got all these tools, guys. These are the tools that I would recommend that you want to, pick out one or two of these. Like for instance, this is, I believe it's like 12 or 13 bucks. Buy your Woodworker 2 or 3 of these things, man. I think it'd be great. And I think these are, I don't know what these are, 12 bucks? Maybe, I don't know. I'll dig up the information. I'll put the links in. You guys can see that and go check those out. Okay. So, all that said, these are some really cool tools. I think you guys really should consider picking something up as a Christmas gift for one of your woodworking friends, or even for yourself, by the way, because who knows? I know my wife doesn't always know what I need in terms of tools. So I usually have to put something up for her. So anyway, hope you got something out of this. Like I said, go down here to 30minutewoodshop.com. You can find a little bit more information. Hit more. You can find some links to these things. And I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, good making.